It's Lisa here, and tonight, this is your love note for February 5th, and I want to talk a little bit about goals. I've learned a lot from my daughter when it comes to setting and striving toward goals. It was 10 years ago. She was 7 years old. It was right before she was starting second grade. And I remember outside and I asked her, I said, "Hey, you're getting ready to go into second grade. We're starting a whole new school year. Do you have any goals for yourself or things that you would like to accomplish this year?" And she was like, "What's a goal?" What do you mean accomplish? What does that mean? So we had that conversation. And I mean, just right off the bat, she said, "Yes, I have three goals." Cool. What are these three goals? She said, "Number one, I want to be on a swim team." Okay. Number two, I want to learn how to ride my bike without training wheels. And number three, I want to end the year reading at the fifth grade level. And I thought, dang, these are some pretty good goals. As mom, I was pretty excited about this. There was only a couple catches. I said, "Well, kiddo, these are great goals. Wonderful, fantastic goals. They were definitely stretch goals outside of, what may have been easy. We'll put it that way." I said, "Well, swim team is great." I said, "Challenge is," she said, "I know. I don't know how to swim." I said, "Yeah, this could be a challenge." She said, "Yeah, I know, but I can take lessons and I can try. And there are swim tryouts for the swim team next week. And I want to go to those swim tryouts because I just want to try." And I said, "Fantastic." Now, the cool thing is, we just got back. I'm doing this so late tonight because we just got back from the swimming regionals, so the qualifier for the state competition. And her team, ended up taking first place at regionals, and I'm so incredibly proud. But when I think about the journey from a kid deciding I want to be on a swim team, even though I don't know how to swim, to being on a team where she did well, the rest of the team did incredible. They ended up taking first place in regionals. That's that's a big journey. And she got a lot of help along the way. Swimming wasn't something that I could really help with. I'm a crappy swimmer. I barely dog paddle, but she knew, okay, I'm going to have to take lessons. Fortunately, her dad had been a competitive swimmer in his past, so he knew how to help. I was really good at, being a taxi cab to and from swim lessons, but she was willing to listen and to learn while she was being coached. And that was a big element of taking on a new skill and learning how to be better at it. But when I asked, I checked in with the guides today and I'm like, what is it about this? What is the lesson here? And really they came back with like a four-part lesson. Number one, for us to love ourselves enough to actually set goals outside of our comfort zone that light us up. So for her, being on a swim team was way outside, of what she knew. It was going to be a stretch, it was going to be uncomfortable, but there was something about that kind of lit her up from the inside out. Number two, they said, get the help, love yourself enough to actually get the help you need to strive toward and accomplish your goals. So often, it's easy to think about 7-year-old kids needing help, whether it's tying their shoes or learning to ride a bike or, whatever the case is. We're quick to offer help and to not think twice about a kid needing help to learn something new. Are we willing to do that for ourselves, though, now that we're adults? Are we willing to come at things with a beginner's mind and to actually seek help and get the assistance that we might need to actually be able to succeed? Some of us are of the damn it, I'll do it myself. Just give me a book, give me the internet, give me YouTube, I'll figure it out. But is that always the best bet? Sometimes actually getting the help from outside can be an incredible way of growing our skills, growing our confidence, learning and being able to have the accountability and someone with us to stretch outside that comfort zone to where we really can succeed in a bigger, bolder, more effective, more enjoyable sort of way. So, are we willing to love ourselves enough to do that? The third thing they said was to actually stick with it. Sometimes when we're striving toward new goals, parts of it can suck. I mean, parts of it can be really awful. When Riley, she went to the first swim tryout when she was 7. She was terrible. She didn't know any of the strokes, but the coach was watching and liked something about her attitude. She said, "Kid, you sign up for swim lessons. I'm going to keep my eye on you. And as soon as I think you're ready, I'm going to ask you on the team." And it was, that was in the fall. By the spring, the coach was inviting her on the team, and she's been on a swim team ever since. But there were times in there when being on the swim team was kind of miserable. When she was in middle school, 7th and 8th grade, which is just miserable time anyway, but swim practices were late. So she likes to be to bed early. And swim practices were late, and we wouldn't get home till like 9 o'clock at night or 9:30, from swim practice. And then she'd have homework, and she was just tired and cranky. And, it was a rough time. And I almost didn't let her participate in swim in high school because she was so cranky about it in junior high. I was like, I don't want to have to deal with this. But she hits high school and swim times are different. Now it's like the last hour of school and then after school, like normal sports practice. And it was great. She loved it and she's loved it ever since. But had she given up when it was frustrating and hard and she was tired back in 7th and 8th grade, she wouldn't have been on a regional championship team today. And so that was just sometimes when we care about things, even when it sucks, we need to stick with it. You know, it kind of reminds me of when she decided she wanted to learn how to ride her bike without training wheels. For any of you parents or siblings or, really great aunts or uncles who have helped kids learn how to ride their bikes, the whole taking off the training wheels and then running behind them, holding on to the back of the seat until you feel like your lungs are going to fly out your nose because you're winded. Yeah, that was me. That was me. Hey, Monica, I'm glad to see you here. That was the whole reason I started running 10 years ago, because when she needed help riding a bike, I couldn't keep up. I couldn't do it. So she was my incentive to actually stick with a Couch to 5K program. I had tried it like 5 or 6 times before. And when we got to one week where you're supposed to run 20 minutes in a row, I'm like, screw this. This is stupid. So I would just quit. But with her, she was actually, her goal became incentive for me to be able to help her reach her goal. I needed to actually stay committed to my goal. And so I became better. I would like to think I at least gained more endurance, we'll put it that way, as a result of working to help her toward her goal, because I had motivation, a different kind of motivation that I hadn't had before. And so that motivation, knowing your why, is part of what can help you stick with something even through the crappy times, even through the times where it just really sucks, to get to the other side to where it's a lot more enjoyable. So I'm so grateful to her because by her setting goals, it's helped me reach more goals for myself too, which is kind of interesting. And that's the third or the last thing that they had to say was this idea of love other people enough. So if you love yourself enough to set the goals, and you love yourself enough to get the help to strive toward the goals, and you love yourself enough to stick with it even when it sucks, to get to the other side where it sucks less, then love other people enough to take all of that and pay it forward and help them in the attainment of their goals too. And that's kind of beautiful. Riley's swim coach this year, it was her first year to be, the head swim coach. And she's somebody who was, I mean, like a crazy great swimming athlete in high school and then on in college, and now has come back and is coaching the kids. And I'm so grateful that she's paying her skills forward, using that to teach other people and to like spread that good cheer. And think about, what is it that you know or that you do that you can pay forward to help other people in the attainment of their goals? Riley's goal that I got really excited about was that she wanted to learn how to read. By the end of the year, she wanted to go from really not reading to being able to read at a 5th grade level in 2nd grade. And I thought, I can help with this one. I'm a word nerd. I love books. I love to read. We can do this. And so she ends up, at the end of the year, reading at the 6th grade level instead, because that was something I could actually help with. And she was committed, and we had so much fun reading together. So there are times when we have an opportunity to just pay our pay our skills forward or the things that we've learned to have, to help other people know what to do with that. Hey, Steve. Hey, Renee. I'm glad you guys are watching. Um, and it can be anything. It doesn't have to be a great big thing. People who will help answer questions when I'm trying to figure out what the hell to do with my Jeep outside when I'm having trouble with it. I'm like, I don't even know where to start with this thing. Or the folks who every time I try to need to use a ratchet strap, they confound me. So they'll send me videos, thanks guys, and help me out with the ratchet straps. I am so grateful for that because it helps me to be able to strive toward a goal I have, which is keeping this Jeep running because it makes me happy, even though I don't have the technical skills to be able to do that. So there are ways that we can pay all kinds of knowledge and skills forward to help other people attain their goals. And the other thing we can do is be encouraging and supportive. And like when Riley came out with her 3 goals, I didn't poo poo them. I didn't say, oh, kid, you can never do that. That's totally unrealistic. That'll never happen. The truth is, they were stretch goals and she accomplished all of them. Sure, she had some help. She was 7. Of course, she had help. But can we give ourselves that same encouragement, not discourage ourselves in our own brains, not discourage other people from attaining their goals, and actually encourage and almost be like cheerleaders instead? Tonight at the swim meet, this mama's heart just kind of exploded because one of the other parents whose kids were new on the swim team started bragging about Riley. And what she was bragging about was how much the other kids appreciated Riley kind of taking them, being kind and welcoming and encouraging and like cheering them on and supporting them and making them feel like part of the team, even though they were new. That's the kind of thing that makes me so incredibly proud. The idea of being a good human and being empowering and inspiring and encouraging and motivating and cheering other people on, especially if they feel uncomfortable, especially if they're trying something new. Can we do that too? Can we do that for ourselves? Can we do that for others? Can we allow our positive attitude to be infectious for other people so that they might have an even greater chance at succeeding at those goals that might be outside their comfort zone? I think we can. I totally think we can. And so that was kind of the encouragement of the guides today. Sometimes when I go with it to them, I'm like, what am I talking about today? Feeling like this thing called human life, isn't interesting enough or something. And, one thing they did say today, they were like, quit discounting the importance of your experiences, meaning all of our experiences living life here on earth. It's not like just the stuff in the, in the higher dimensions or where the angels hang out and play or ascended masters or whatever. It's not like that's the only stuff that matters. The things that we are experiencing right here, right now, this is the playground where our soul gets to learn and gets to actually implement and work on its lessons and the kind of love that it wants to hold and share into this world. Having goals that seem like stretches, that's part of our soul's opportunity to actually grow and learn and apply all it knows to this 3D experience here in life. It's not to be discounted. In fact, it's kind of hard. We're kind of badasses for being here doing all the stuff that we're here doing at this time. And if we can be here doing it with a loving and open heart and actually encourage and support and promote and cheer on other people who are doing their thing too, who are stretching, who are moving beyond their comfort zone, who are seeing how big and bold they can be, man, isn't that what hanging out on earth, living this life is kind of all about? And sharing love in the process? That's my goal. Maybe you'll join me in that goal. Maybe you'll join me. But just remember, if a 7-year-old can set goals, stay committed to them, get the help she needs to accomplish them, and then help encourage other people to do something similar 10 years later, I think we can too. I think we can too. And the guide simply encouraged today to love ourselves enough to do that, and then love other people enough to help them do that too. That's your love note for this Friday. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.